This is another video to get you to think. Yes, I said it. I really want you to think. Those of you that are listening to me, watching me right now, start thinking. It's a lost art. We don't think anymore. We mimic, we copy what we see, but we don't use the precious gift of our minds to think critically, to process information as we should. Some of us have never done it, don't even know how to, because we've always copied what we saw with our eyes, followed what we have heard, what we've been taught and programmed to do. Well, the time is now to find your independence, to be a big boy and a big girl and grow up. Be the adult that you were intended to be once you have left your childhood. So what am I saying? We are being watched. Information about us, concerning us, has been and is continuing to be collected to benefit someone, to even sell us products and services and goods. Our information has been exploited, and it's right in front of our eyes, and many of us don't even know it. Some of us recognize it, seems familiar, but we fall for it anyway. Anytime some organization, some group, some company, some corporation ask you for information, you had better think about why they're asking you for the information. Oh, it doesn't mean that they're not going to have an answer. They're going to have a carefully manufactured answer, one that's highly scripted, that they have planned and used for years. It is to make you believe that you are benefiting some way, and you may be benefiting, but it's really a subtle secondary type of benefit. They are majorly benefiting because they're selling your information. They're giving your information to the government or various governments, and they know virtually everything about you, about us. I'm on the internet sometimes, and I may forget my password to one of my several accounts. Then a window pops up and it says, would you like to use Google, Facebook, or some other method to access this account? My first question is, how does Google factor into me opening this page to my account? How do they even know that I have the account? I went through the website of that company to even open the account. How does Google know about it? How does Facebook know about that account? If I push Google, guess what? I'm on the website that I was attempting to access. I don't recall ever giving Google any information about that particular website and or account. Google is a mega search engine that collects data on all of us. Billions, maybe trillions of pieces of information every single day. Facebook is another one. Twitter is another one. Amazon is another one. And it goes on and on and on, and they are all interconnected. What's the cloud? You don't have enough space on your hard drive on your computer, and it says, why don't you store your information in the cloud? What in the heck is the cloud? I don't want to store my information anywhere outside of what I'm operating on right now. It's risky enough storing it on your own computer, let alone some sort of cloud. Is it a physical cloud? That's just a joke. We know it's not a physical cloud, but it's somewhere. Who has access to this information of ours in the cloud? Various government or agencies or organizations, I'm sure. Nothing that we do on the internet, ladies and gentlemen, is safe. We just ought to really wake up and wrap our brains around this fact. It's not. You can type your name into Google right now, and every website that you have ever been on, especially social media, Facebook and otherwise, it'll pop up because it's all connected. It is a vast spider web with millions of arms. Every place that you've ever touched on the internet, every website you've ever gone to, every game you've ever played on there, in that website, it has your information. It's almost like your DNA, your electronic DNA. It's there. Where you live, what state, what city, what your address is, your phone number, your social security number, your bank account number, your credit card number, all of that stuff is on the internet. If you've ever accessed anything, if you've ordered anything on your phone from a pizza delivery place, once you type in on your phone your password, once you type in on your phone your credit card information, once you say your credit card information over the phone, who's listening on the phone? Someone in the room somewhere, right? Dozens and maybe hundreds of people all over the planet, all over America, listening in on your phone call, and you telling the pizza delivery person or the receptionist or the salesperson your credit card information over the phone. We know by now that the phone is not safe. Edward Snowden taught us that, and the government has targeted him for leaking the secrets. So Google is an information collecting platform to include video through YouTube. This might get me kicked off, but it's okay. I'm a big boy. Take a deep breath. Might get me kicked off, but I'm trying to help you, as well as myself, and as well as my family, for those that will listen. It's too late to go back and pull any information off of the internet because it's there forever. Whatever you have so kindly shared innocently, ignorantly, unaware, it's there. But what you can do today as I'm speaking to you is that you can stop sharing it. Stop sharing your personal information. You don't have to have a rebate when you buy a DVD player at Walmart, do you? That's just a ploy, that's just a tactic, that's just a technique to get you to submit some more information about yourself. I don't need a rebate. That couple of dollars is not that important. Or is it to you? I don't want to have a discount, so I'm going to submit this information or this additional information to this company so that they can send me a coupon. For what? I don't care. I could care less. Because I'm compromising my personal information. I don't need a census taker coming to my home asking me who lives there. They work for the government, right? They tell us, or the information that they're collecting is to help, disperse, settle certain funds that are allocated by the government to help your particular community or county or what have you. That's bull crap. They fabricated these lies in a boardroom somewhere, and they send everyday people out with a badge around their neck collecting the information, because the real people who sit behind the closed doors with the suits and ties on, they won't come out and do it. So they send little minions out, and they try to convince them, they try to program them to tell you the information is necessary. And now they're saying even more, it's mandatory. It's mandatory for me to tell you what my household consists of in terms of people, the ages of my children and their names and so forth, how many people live in my home. If that is not invasion of my privacy and yours, or being intrusive. I just don't know what is. So, did you get the point? You have to be your own diligent protector of yourself and your family. Third parties are not going to help us. Have you ever seen a situation where a fire occurred in a home and then the fire department dispatches a unit, ladder truck, water truck, and so forth? They call them first responders. They're not first responders, they're second responders, because you are the one that's there. You're the first one who witnessed the fire. The same thing is true with the police situation or scenario. A guy robs you in your home at gunpoint, holds you hostage for a moment, steals your property, and leaves. May hit you upside the head before he leaves. May physically harm you. Now he's gone. He's fled the scene. Someone calls 911 and the police show up. Are they first responders? I guess you could say in some sense they are, but you are the first responder because you were the one. You are the one who experienced it. So you were there first. You get what I'm saying? So what I'm saying to you now in essence is be the first individual that's the responsible individual in your life. Stop depending on someone to take care of you. Police have their part to play in our lives, in our society, our communities. So do emergency medical people. So does the fire department. So does the water department, utilities companies, and so forth. But they shouldn't be number one. We should always be number one because they can't serve us if we're not here, right? If there's no house to respond to with people living in it, then their job is okay. They have no job to do. But if there are people living in the house, the people are the first line of defense. If someone breaks in your home, you're going to call the cops. When they're beating your son or your daughter, when they're raping your wife, and you're there witnessing it. So you're going to call, yes, police, somebody's beating my kids and someone is hurting my family. No, you are going to be the first person right there responding to it appropriately. Stop letting people control your life. If there's any control of your life, let it be very, very limited by anyone outside of you. You are the primary individual that's responsible for the health and well-being of your own family, to include yourself. It's real simple. It's not complicated. It does not take a rocket scientist to understand this. It doesn't take a nuclear physicist to understand this. It doesn't take a doctor or a politician to understand this. It doesn't take a preacher or a police officer to understand this. All it takes is you understanding this, because this involves you. This is your life. Take great care of it. And remember this, you are the primary one, not the secondary one. So as it relates again to your privacy, walk very, very carefully when you start sharing information. You really need to do some critical thinking, because everybody outside of your own immediate home and family are not your friends, and they don't necessarily mean you any good. This is Brother Teacher. So long.